So we're back here in Miami at Pro Level Fitness, going to go through an entire leg workout. This is week 1 of our off season. It's been a long week. We've actually been in Texas at our headquarters for Alpha Subs. We've got all our workouts in there that week. We just did check-ins this morning. Weights up, feel great, but we are finishing the week off this Saturday right now with a full leg workout. So we're gonna be doing quads and then hamstrings. So follow along, stay tuned for this awesome workout, and let's get it. So we're first week on our off season. Calories have definitely bumped up a little bit. We kept it clean in Texas. We didn't eat any shit cheat meals. That's the point. What we're gonna really do is focus as much as on our prep, like we did on our prep, eating wise, training wise, cardio wise, all those things. We're gonna keep those things in line so that we have a very, very productive off season. Now, week 1 with YT3 training, rep range is like 10 to 14. Again, being so close to the show, you use a lot more weight in week 1 than you do on the other successive weeks, okay? So we still need to be very careful about that because the ligaments, the joints, as well as flying last night, I got in at 2 a.m., there can be issues where you can hurt yourself. So you might feel like you have that energy because your muscles are now filled with glycogen, you have the carbs in your system, you're a little bit more hydrated, but you gotta be careful that the ligaments don't always catch up as quickly. So we're gonna keep it intense, we're gonna keep it going, but we gotta be careful that we're not gonna push it too much with adding too much excessive weight in the beginning. So one of those things too, as you get older, realize how important warming up is and not rushing through it. The engine needs to get started and it needs to get started the proper way. So to have a good workout and to get to the weight that you need to get to and also feel it in the muscle and not in the joints, it's important that you warm up properly and you do your exercises in a controlled, fixed manner, okay? I'm strong enough to really pump these out. I'm also, it's not that heavy. So mentally, you might not want to focus as much, but you gotta stay focused throughout all the sets. You gotta think about how you're feeling going into these kinds of things and how the body's kind of responding and stuff like that. I think strength-wise, I could probably get up to about 5 plates right now without there being any discomfort. Like I said, it's very close to the show. We're not here to break those records or anything like that. But what I'm gonna do with this is our first working set is gonna be with 4 plates. We're gonna do 14 reps. Very important when we start to do the working sets as well as the warm-up sets, we do full range of motion. Okay, you see too many people doing the leg press and doing this half-ass shit. They do squats half-ass. That doesn't get you anywhere, okay? It actually does a lot of things to imbalance your legs and put a lot of strain on joints instead of actually working out the muscles that you're looking for. So we're gonna get a first working set. Again, 4 plates. We're gonna go through each sit rep very efficiently, controlling that negative. Let's get it. Sometimes I can extend and get more as I get later into my workout. So ultimately, if you think about it, some of the original working sets are warming up myself in central nervous system. Whereas when I was younger, I would be able to really just pile the weight on early on. And I think because of maybe injuries, maybe because of a better mind-muscle connection, that as I get older, I put things in reserve and like to progress as the workout goes. And then about midway through the workout, obviously energy levels start to draw back, okay? So the stored glycogen that you have in your muscles, the overall central nervous system energy, the wear and tear of the workout fatigues you so that you start to fall off on your performance. So one of the things you'll see, we have hand grips here, okay? I'm able to push and pull my glutes so they're nice and tight and firm here. There's no rolling and arching of my lower back. And as you guys can see, I am not pushing on my knees or my legs. It is all legs, okay? That's another big thing that I see a lot of people do, is that they roll their lower back when they start to get deeper on the exercise. They're always pushing on their fucking knees. Listen, no one's helping you do your curls. No one should be helping you do every rep of your presses. So why the hell are you putting your hands on your legs to help you finish it? The reason you're doing it is you're putting too much weight on the machine and trying to perform too many reps. I see people doing that on the first rep. How silly would it look for you to go down on the dumbbells and on the first rep, the guy's helping you up? Makes no sense. So the next exercise we're gonna do is the hack squat. Okay, as you guys can see, my wife is gonna give me shit because I always talk mad shit about using the bands. We got a new Alpha Subs belt, shameless plug. You can go on alphasubs.com and get these babies. All right, so we're gonna use this. These bands are a pain in the ass to take off, pretty damn tight. So we're just gonna leave that on. We'll use a little bit more weight, take shit from the wife for talking shit all together, and we're gonna go nice and deep. So we're gonna go really low, okay? Big time. That's one of the emphasis that I preach, is going low. None of this half-ass shit. All the way down. Okay, we got weight. We're gonna get all the way in the hole. Let's go. Get these calves getting rubbed up against these hammies. Right to the floor. 1. Right to the floor. 2. 3. 4. We're gonna stop there. The reason we're gonna stop there is because we're not gonna take that set to full failure. That's not a working set. I thought in my head, saying to myself, listen, you can do more weight, so let's not go too many reps, waste energy, and let's focus on adding some more weight, okay? Get ourselves locked in. Extra 25 on that there. There should be a good weight. We're gonna go about 10 to 14, because that's our rep range for today. 4 sets. Because we added more weight doesn't mean we change our range of motion, okay? Just so you guys can see the quads. Let's go. All right, let me bring you over here for a second. My video went viral for me in a sense that a lot of people watched it and shared it. We just did leg press. Now I'm in a corporate studio. I'm in like a studio, I like to call it. It's not a corporate gym. So for me, what I do is in between sets, I start putting this back so I don't have to re-rack everything right away. Here, it's a little busier than normal, so I probably should put it away a lot quicker. But the thing is, you gotta put your weights away. If you're at an LA Fitness, you're at a big corporate gym, don't move on to your next exercise. Take all the weights, put them away. So for me, because I'm here, I'll do one at a time. In between, put 1, maybe 2 away. And I rest. And after the next set, we put the rest. 2 more away, we rest. But at the end of the day, the point of the matter is, put your shit away. No one else should have to clean up your stuff. No one else should have to go into a machine that's loaded up. Put your stuff away. One of the things with leg machines, a lot of people, especially like leg press, not as much maybe hack squat and squats, but It's a 10-pound plate. Adding weight doesn't always need to be the big boys. You don't need to just add by 45. You don't need to just add by 25. Sometimes you get a great set, and just by bouncing it up an extra 10 pounds on each side makes a difference. You're doing weight over time. So even when it comes to leg press, guys and girls, I see people only moving up by 45s. And listen, sometimes you have a little bit more energy to do a little more weight, but not just that huge increment. So that's an idea. All right, so we did 14, 14. We're gonna go for 12 to 14 here. All right, a little weights added, understanding that. So let's stay focused. Same foot position. I like to flare my toes just a little bit. Get locked in. Let's go. Lock it in. All the way down. Control that negative. I'm not diving into the hole. Control. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 more. Dig. 9, 10. 2 more. Last one. Good. Oh, felt good. Gotta go back to that leg press, put some more weight away. So we're gonna do some single rep PR squats with this weight right here. No, we're gonna do some walking lunges. This is a lightweight, but we're just gonna go through the exercise. So probably gonna do about 3 to 4 steps with each, just to feel it. There's a lot of stability in this exercise. Stabilizer muscles are utilized a lot more than on the leg press and the hack squat. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Yeah, I can definitely feel a couple muscle groups in the legs that are firing for the first time today. So we're gonna take this, put it back, get a little heavier weight, and then move into our working sets. It's just crazy to think that Ronnie Coleman did this shit with 315. Actually, I think it was like 365. 365, dude. Bananas. Okay, so moving on to the next exercise is the adductor machine. We're gonna work the inside of our legs. It's very important as a bodybuilder, classic physique athlete, that we work the outside to give that X frame, but you also fill up the gap in the inner thighs. So when you do your front relaxed pose like this, that you have the size here so that the legs look a lot thicker from the front, as well as when you put down in the rear shots, you don't have a huge gap between both legs. So very important to work the adductors. It's a very fragile muscle, I like to call it, because it's one of those things when you hit it with this exercise, puts a lot of strain on it, and I find that people can strain their adductors. So you gotta be very careful with it, that after you work your adductors, a day or two later, you stretch that muscle out, okay? Very important that you stretch that muscle out, because a lot of people, when they're reaching for stuff, they're doing weird exercises, will end up straining that area, and then they put themselves in a bad situation where next week leg press, next week squat, next week bigger exercise, they have a hard time executing those because of the injury or the tweak that they got from just day-to-day activities. Now, because we're done with our quads, our knee dominant stuff, we're gonna pull these down so they just look like shin guards. They're just gonna look cool for the rest of the exercise. Get in, get here, put ourselves out, get a nice stretch. Try to get as much of a stretch as you can, and then come in, each rep, squeeze. We're only gonna do 3 sets of these, but we wanna come all the way up, squeeze, full range of motion. All the way out. Kai Green, you see him doing these all the time. There's some of the strongest legs, had some of the greatest quads of all time. And he was a big proponent of utilizing these machines throughout his entire career, and even now, you know, hasn't been competing in about 7 or 8 years. I know he still does this and has tremendous legs, so. Each rep, slow and controlled. Come in, squeeze. I think that's 8. Gonna get to 14, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I think that's a little bit too much of a bounce on that last one. All right, that's a stand up out of it. Get ourselves a nice little break. Now, these exercises, things like adductors, specifically hamstrings for a lot of people, because with my exercise split, hamstrings come second. Usually this is where people put less emphasis on and less focus. We've been in the gym for about an hour training, a little bit over an hour. So I understand mentally why you might be like that. But understand that to have great legs, you need to build all the different areas. So if you are one of those people that struggle with your hamstrings, that's not me, but if you are, then maybe it's ideal for you to actually work your hamstrings first. Yes, you won't be able to press as much. Yes, you won't be able to squat as much, but you're gonna have that mental energy to really put it into those exercises at the beginning of your workout, okay? Not that I'm not gonna be focusing on those. I'm gonna be bringing up everything on my legs. Specifically, I think I need to do a little bit more on my glutes. And that's gonna be more from pressing and so forth, and then some direct glute exercises. But put the emphasis in these exercises, it's very important, okay? You gotta be strong mentally. We got another about half hour of training. We gotta put that energy into it. So quads are finished. Now we're gonna move on to hamstrings. First exercise is the lying leg curl. Is a staple for hamstrings. Just like any kind of curl, bicep curl, you really wanna make sure that you're getting a great squeeze with this. The big thing with this machine and how it's constructed is it really doesn't allow you to get your butt and your hips off the platform. So there's a great decline here, keeps those locked and fixed. So this part of your body is fixed to the pad, and you're really just pulling with those hamstrings. I can't emphasize it enough with hamstrings. A lot of people suffer with this muscle group. I have been able to get a great mind-muscle connection from day one, but I think a lot of that is emphasized that I really am focusing on form more than anything else. So get a great squeeze, progress weight when you need to, but we are going to go into it. Got a couple warm-up sets, we're already warm, okay? So we're gonna do about 1 or 2 warm-up sets just to feel weight, and then we're gonna move into 4 working sets of 10 to 14. So we did 2 sets, warm-ups, feels good. We're gonna go into the working sets. 10 to 14. With this one, we're doing no extra squeeze. So certain things you can do, like with hamstrings, is you can squeeze at the top, slow negatives. Like I said, hamstrings is one of those exercises, one of those muscle groups that is dominant for me. I have to understand, and you have to understand, that when you have dominant muscle groups, that you want to keep working those. You want to strengthen those. You want to get those, try to get those better. But you only have a certain amount of energy overall with your body when it comes to nutrition, recovery, central nervous stimulation, the availability to do that. If you take a muscle group that's already dominant and you hit it as hard as you're hitting everything else, you're doing yourself a disservice. Your body can only recover and can only grow so much. And what's gonna happen is, because that muscle group is dominant, it's gonna continue to get stronger and stronger. So we're not looking to get worse unless there's a huge imbalance, but we're not looking to push it as hard as our quads. Our quads used to be a dominant muscle group as well. We lost a little size when we had our back issue, so we gotta put more emphasis back on the quads, pull back the reins a little bit on the hamstrings, but continue to try to progress and make sure that they're getting stronger. Okay, so let's get it. So we're moving on to stiff-legged deadlifts. We're gonna use this platform right here on the ground to get an extra stretch. So we're gonna have our toes elevated to get an extra stretch. Now this is an exercise that I used to be very strong on. Deadlifts was conventional deadlifts, stiff-legged deadlifts, but I had a back injury and I moved away from this exercise, and slowly but surely, I had more and more and more issues because I was staying away from strengthening my lower back, strengthening my hamstrings, so forth and so on. But I put all that to the side, and now we're 100% focused on getting ourselves stronger, but being very, very careful with doing this exercise the proper way. And if I feel anything that doesn't feel 100%, last week on the fourth set, just didn't feel it. So I stopped. Not that I felt anything hurting, I just wasn't feeling that great mind-muscle connection, so I just stopped. Okay, so this exercise, again, with all the exercises, we're not breaking any records today. We're gonna do a couple warm-up sets, very light to get started, and then we'll move right into it, okay? Let's go. Last exercise of the day, and then we're done. Standing single leg hamstring curls. Okay, so this is like the concentration curls for the biceps, but for the hamstrings. So we're gonna get on this side, put your foot in, you get it locked in, get a nice squeeze, hold it. 2, 3, 4. So, I'm not gonna bore you guys and have you watch all my sets of that exercise, but that's it for our leg workout today. I wanna thank you guys for joining us for the full quad and hamstring workout, our first one for the off season. Calves we do on a separate day with shoulders. So if you're worried about us working our calves, we absolutely do those after shoulders. But I wanna thank you guys for joining us. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to build this out, just started. It would help so much if you subscribe. Put a comment below. If you have any questions, you can always put your comments there or hit me up on my Instagram, whatever it is. please reach out, and thank you again. Big Stu, we out.